22 minutes. What's the significance of the butt plug that I copied off Bromley? Because he had one in his room. Well, I'll tell you why I did it, because he said it's an organic process when I saw the one in his room. And I just like that. It's just, that's what it signifies, the mantra. It's an organic, it's a good thing to do, isn't it? I think he was just sort of slightly apologetic about this thing that was stuck in his room with things stuck in it. It's an organic, it's a thing that's an organic process. It's just a good thing to remember. It's all of it is an organic process. So I wanted one. I think his was blue, so I did a pink one because I just found the things in Poundland and thought, you know what? It's an organic process. I'm doing a pink one. I just stuck the cat on it. It was on the floor. The next cat, I was going to put him on the lamp. He was on the lamp downstairs. But I thought I'd put him there because you know why? It's an organic process. It's true. I'm cleaning. I've done the drawers. Look, I've put them back and rolled all my clothes back into my bunker drawer. There we go. And I was just thinking about not throwing things away. I like to have a war book. My grandma used to have one. I was teased about it before when I collected 2 bottles of water when I thought the world was going to end last time, just in case. She used to have loads of tins stacked away. It was like her wall cupboard. It was a joke. It was a running joke at the time. But I was just thinking about not throwing anything away at the moment because we're going to need to, you know what, recycle everything. And hand sewing because of the electric going off. I don't know how bad thing. It's good to overreact, isn't it? I think so. It's good to overreact and think the worst case scenario. So afterwards, anything afterwards is just going to be a blessing. So literally, hand sewing, because I won't be able to use the sewing machine that I've got downstairs, even though if I could put it back together. It's a single one that should last fairly. They're just like a crank. Get a crank one from a charity shop. That's what I learnt to sew on. That's what they're going to need, fashion. Do you know, fuck the other things. They're going to say, somebody was down the thing the other day. People are always going to do their asses white. Well, this is true. So we're doing it in an abstract way. The other thing they're always going to need is fashion. I've taught you to knit socks, so at least encouraged you to do it. So you can knit. I know Babe loves his socks. He's a sock fetish person. And he'll be able to knit his own pair of nice warm socks for Christmas and think of me. I couldn't send any because there's no petrol for postage. And we can unravel. We know how to unravel old jumpers and knit up the wool again. We've done that before. Certain wools are easier to do than others. We're going to need to get some sheep. Spinning yarns. We're good at that. Entertaining. People are always going to want entertaining. Their arse is white. Fortunately, I worked in the kennels. I'm used to clearing up shit. Hey, there's blue tits. Just come. Messages getting through. In our olden days ways. Cheap entertainment like bird watching. There's a woman running up the road. You can watch any sort of birds you want. There's a big old spider down there. What else are we going to need to do? Listen to the signs. The dog's got fleas, but you know what? They'll die in the winter, maybe, or keep us warm. We'll be ready. We're ready for just about anything. You know us. Dig in and deal with it. Woof! What's she saying? Yes, we are. Take me for a walk. We can make slippers about old socks. Everyone needs to learn to knit, otherwise they're going to get cold feet. And plus, we can knit by candlelight because knitting, you know what? You do it mostly by feel. You can do it by feel when you can't read at night because it's too dark and you've gone blind from trying to read by candlelight. You can do it some of the time, your eyes get tired. But you might not be able to sleep because you've got too much to think about. So you can knit some socks. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. We've taught the men to knit again. I've done my bit anyway. What are we going to do for nylons? Well, I tell you what, we'll dye ourselves in old tea and draw lines up the back of our legs with pencils and pray it doesn't rain and that there's a dance going on somewhere. Anyone's brewing home beer? Spending their money on that. Or if they're at home knitting socks. I don't really know. Wishing there was some coffee. Rationing. Sounds happy. walking shoes. We might need to walk far because there's no petrol. Dancing shoes are for dancing or showing off. So we've got all those ready. Bridge over the River Kwai. Well, why did that come up? Because I just read that the Russian bridge was supposed to be impossible to attack. Well, hard to attack. Bridge over the River Kwai was along the same lines. That was a Vietnam film, which is why I pulled in the flower power thing, which was, generally who I was to start with. It just keeps coming up with like chemical warfare in Vietnam. Also, it's not going to be impossible to attack because of satellites and things and drones. And they would have just got the timing, whoever it was, and blown up the petrol thing, thinking that would blow up the hole in the bridge. The retaliation one was why the Irish garage got taken out, I imagine, unless that was first or planned as some sort of strategy by whoever it was in the first place. I don't really know. That seemed the most obvious thing to me. Somebody said to me, I think it was one of my kids actually, about the Third World War was going to be like a technological one. He said that a while back. So it makes sense, doesn't it? It does make sense. Drone attacks. I don't really know. I don't know enough about it. I don't have a and they would have done a petrol thing just so they knew, do you know what, that it was linked. That's why they did a petrol station in Ireland, probably. Whoever it was, drone attacked that. I'd say that's what it was. Because it was a petrol tank on the bridge and the petrol station. Makes sense to me. How would you do it? With a cat laser, probably. Tied onto a drone, probably. That's what I'd do. If I had a drone. I don't have one though, but makes sense, doesn't it? Seems a bit basic. I've got tickle in my throat and a neck injury. How am I going to deal with that? I don't know. Probably do some more tidying up. What am I wearing today? This stuff. I've put my cat trousers on. I haven't done any exercise. I'm cleaning up. Plants everywhere. Why do we do that? We want to test water quality, partly. I thought they're just doing a load of roadworks in Kent after saying about the Raven had flown to the west. So there's going to be disruptions there, isn't there? Roadworks. A load of people sitting in stationary traffic. That's going to be a fucking nightmare. Who's doing the roadworks and what are they doing? Drainage systems, I saw. I'm just curious as to the significance of the Raven going to the west. I mean, that's what is it? I don't know how west it is from here with me, but it's like more of a, I don't know, what's the word? Thingy west, like psychological west, I suppose. For me. What else was I going to say? Blow the whistle. Beep beep. On the bicycle. The bicycle policeman. I don't have a hoover to run. I've saved some energy there. Sweeping brush. Come on, I'm doing my bit. I'm doing my bit for the war effort. I'm well prepared for this. What else are we going to do to make things funny? Laugh at the paint some more. I might need that paint later on. Something else. I could chip it up and grate it later into something to use the pigment for, I don't know, something else. I'm not going to do it, am I? I know, but I might need to know how to do these things later on. Reusing other stuff. It's going to be fun. We'll find out all sorts of other new things from doing it, Corey. experimentation. I've got tomato out there, I might go and eat it. Leave some for seed to set. We want the ones that grow well without much help. Bless you. Vitamin C, scurvy. Everyone's got viruses. Do you know, I did say it's not about getting a couple of ex-battery hens to my daughter-in-law, thinking afterwards, I know like chicken flu is going on at the moment, but surely a lot of that is to do with because they're all kept in barns and they're not particularly healthy, so the odd one running around the garden is probably going to have a what's it called? Well, psychological thing, and they could easily cover down the side of their house to have a run down there easily. But if they're running surely free in the garden, they're going to be, well, unless they're hit by fucking drones again, by people spraying things on them, which isn't fucking helpful in the long term, is it? Not really. But you could cover it, surely. The virus is airborne. Or forget it then. Just made more sense to me to get a couple of ex-battery hens than a dog, to be honest, in this sort of. And they can eat scraps, which helps with things like the bin loads. And give you eggs, which is useful, especially if you make things like cakes as a side thing. It's just, you know what? We're thinking bigger pictures, aren't we? Get some bees. Yeah, I would say that. Get some bees. They could easily put some bees in the corner down the bottom. Probably sting the chickens. But it's another way of noticing what's going on, isn't it? Somebody would just take out the beehive with the drone. What the fuck? Do you know what, you idiots, all of you? Where are you going to get the honey from? Later. The Russians can't take out our beehive. We've got Russian heritage. You only have to look at my children's profile to see they look like the fucking Russian royal family. The old one. The old ones that went missing. So the Russians won't be doing it. Who's it going to be then? The Arabs? Don't, please, no, I've got Snooky. Please, please don't do it. The Americans. Oh. But they're all travellers anyway. They all like implant themselves on the States. The only Native Americans aren't going to be doing it. I can't imagine the Native Americans run any fucking drones, do they? No. Right, there we go then. Who is it? Who is it? Who's doing all this fucking shit? Well, it's not Mark. He's United Nations, or at least tries to sit under that cap. Tries to. Tries to. I've got a neck-ache. I think I've been hit by a magnet drain again in the night. This is what I was thinking about my fucking chimney, the hole in my chimney pot. Is that another fucking drone strike? They fucking tried to take that out with a fucking, one of those fucking pencil things. A cat laser, as I like to call it. Fuck's sake. You idiots, all of you. Fucking idiots. Right, I'm going to have something to eat. What? You're heading a plate, probably, to start with. Bieber, I know it's fake Bieber. How do I know about Bieber? Well, I grew up in the 70s with a load of hippies for parents. Well, sort of hippies anyway. And that's a Bieber pattern, isn't it? Bieber design, Bieber-esque, which is our, what? Nouvelle Deco. You know I was getting them mixed up. That's why I bought it. It's got a hole in the back again, a keyhole in the back. I love that. You know I do. It's my thing, isn't it? Somebody said they want to put a hole in my back. I know they do. I thought that yesterday when I was doing the jumper. I've got loads. It's fine. The only thing I don't like about this is the back's a bit, it's probably because my arse is a bit round, so the back comes up a bit high and the front comes down a bit low, so you have to pull the shoulders over. It's a little bit Athena, like the tennis player thing from the olden days. The Athena poster of the tennis player with her, you know, it's a bit like that when I wear it. I have to be a bit careful where I go when I'm walking around in that with my old lady's bones hanging out the bottom. You never know though. The other thing is keep anything you like in the way of fashionable items, because it's quite easy to take them to pieces and use them as a pattern for dressmaking. Some people know this. Some people who've done textiles have done it, but I've done it. Well, I've sort of done it before. I don't mind too much. I'll just take an old scarf and tie it around with a bit of string, but in an emergency. And I'm keeping all my mothy clothes, the ones that we got the moth in, the wool ones, because you can easily wear the lacy things under a fleece. It just breathes differently, layering. Moths do something anyway in the hole. They do useful things, but I've forgotten what already. Probably eat lice, things like that. Or the lice will eat those. The lice will attach to the moths and then go out the window and fly down the road to your house probably. I don't know. Sit on the birds. I just noticed I've got muffin things in the thing. What are you supposed to do with that? I've forgotten. Is it like meths on a piece of paper in the drawer? I know like cedar wood, like, which is pine, isn't it? But cedar is a moth thing. On the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, in the shade of the lonesome pine. Making bed before I have any breakfast. It's Sunday. Dog's trying to eat, you know, Mr. Clunk. I put him upstairs last night. He's been downstairs for ages. I didn't want him upstairs. I dissed him. He was downstairs in the corner. I washed him and then put him in the freezer to get rid of the bed mite things. I didn't bother doing anything else, but you know, I felt like it. And Elio, the dragon, I don't know which one's which, if that's a Welsh dragon or what. I just put them together though, because they love each other. But I had to hide them from the dog. I was explaining to little person the other day, because she loves these two so much and she's not allowed to have them. So I had to keep tucking them out of the way. She's scratching on my bed, which is why I'm pulling it to pieces. And I'll probably give it an air, actually. I might do that. Should I pull everything out? I do it quite often, don't I? You know I do this maybe at least once a month, maybe more frequently. But I pull my whole bed out and sweep underneath it. Because you know what? I'm such an old fucking scab, an old house scab. Even clean under my own bed. And salt and stuff like that. Chuck salt around the corners to keep the spiders out. Might do it today. I feel like it, having a good sweep around. All you're out doing, you're out on the boats or whatever you're doing, getting the salt in your lungs, the salt air. Look, there's Dolly looking at me. She's thinking, why the hell have I taken the bed to pieces? My stylish bed. I know. I'll just pull this up and then I'll go and have something to eat. I'm starving now. Well, not starving, but ravenous. I have to get used to eating other things, dear. Like people deserve nice things. Well, yes, I know they do. Virginia. I might be able to give this to somebody one day, mightn't I? For birthday, when there's no paper being printed anymore. A Hobbit's journal that I bought. I just got it tucked away, just in case I need to send something exciting. Log of passing. Could do some drawing from it. There's loads of things to do. Got loads. There's loads of stuff to do still. I'm keeping all my old candles that aren't burning down properly. These ones that cost me a lot, because you know why. I've got a pot downstairs I collect wax in, and we can make some more candles one day. Something's with great time to do. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. We never had any fucking electric. It was always being switched off. You know why? Because the coal people were striking, so they weren't getting enough money. So, and everyone was dying down the pits. So they stopped all the electric. Until we learnt to behave ourselves. It's true. I was saying to myself, well, I was talking to them quite a lot actually. Also, there was no water, wasn't it? You had to go down because of the, is that 77 or 76? The droughts, the water, the heat wave, and there was no fucking water. All the water got switched off. And we had to walk down the road. I know we always joke. I say we always joke about